Before the 1970s, environmental law wasn't really a thing. It was only after World War II that they only really began to see the effects of pollutants on the environment and started to think, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. The idea of being able to harm the air, soil, and water seemed a little ludicrous, and being fined for it, even crazier. Environmental law became more of a big deal internationally, especially with the Conference of the United Nations on the Human Environment of 1972. They made a declaration that I found very inspiring while doing my research, and I'd like to share a part of it. Man is both creature and molder of his environment, which gives him physical sustenance and affords him the opportunity for intellectual, moral, social, and spiritual growth. In the long and tortuous evolution of the human race on this planet, a stage has been reached when, through the rapid acceleration of science and technology, man has acquired the power to transform his environment in countless ways, and on an unprecedented scale. Both aspects of man's environment, the natural and the man-made, are essential to his well-being and to the enjoyment of basic human rights, the right to life itself. One clip that also sums it up elegantly is this speech by the Lorax from the Dr. Seuss book.
I speak for the trees. Let them grow. Let them grow. But nobody listens too much, don't you know? I speak for the trees, and I'll yell and I'll shout for the fine things on earth that are on their way out. They say I'm old-fashioned and live in the past, but sometimes I think progress progresses too fast.
This clip begs the question, can a healthy environment and progress coexist? Does cutting back on pollution and trying to conserve energy harm the environment? First, we must identify some of the main players in this environmental toss-up. OSHA is the Occupational Safety and Health Administration. They are an agency for the U.S. Department of Labor. They deal with in-work environmental issues, such as workers being exposed to dangerous fumes. Anyone that works at a site where even a legal amount of pollution is released is at risk of being exposed to it and affected by it. For this reason, OSHA plays a key role in environmental law in the business world. The next players are the Clean Air Act and the Clean Water Act. These names are pretty self-explanatory and were established 2 whole years apart, but work side by side in keeping even our daily environment clear of waste. Before these acts were passed, there was not really a set limit for what companies could expel out into the air and water. These pollutants were absorbed by suburbs, causing sicknesses like cancers and breathing problems. In the ecosystems, animals and plants were hurt as well. One particular case that happened in 2004 was the National Wildlife Foundation versus Gorsuch. Basically, the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency wasn't regulating the discharge of the pollutants from the dams that were mandated by the Clean Water Act. There was some discretion as to what the word pollution meant, but the fish were dying from oxygen not being at normal levels. The district court issued a requested declaration and order, but the EPA appealed. The Court of Appeals reversed the decision and held that even though the pollution wasn't technically under the permit program, it was within the intent. Unfortunately, because of the great debate over environmental issues, not many acts have been recently passed. However, many ideas are being worked on, such as divestment in oil companies to decrease the use of fossil fuels and inventive ways to power vehicles, including corn syrup. There are a few other acts that are important to environmental law as well. These are the Pollution Protection Act of 1990, the Toxic Substance Control Act of 1976, and the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969. The Pollution Protection Act, while it sounds like it's protecting pollution, was written to create interest in recycling pollution. The Toxic Control Act to regulate the introduction of new and current chemicals, and the National Environmental Policy, to make all of the branches of government consider how their decisions affect the environment. With all of these laws, how on earth do businesses keep from stepping on toes? So these poor businesses, they have to spend thousands and millions of dollars on keeping up to code. Are there even any benefits? Experts say that there are. In the long run, clean and efficient options like wind power, solar power, and hydropower will save money. Also, whenever large businesses do anything good for the environment, they get good press, which, as most people know, can be better than money. Of course, it will take a very long time to switch over to clean energy, as it is expensive and can take a while to install. However, the fact that there are options like this bring hope into the picture, especially in this day and age when the environment is a huge issue that's largely up for debate. These debates will remain as long as there are educational gaps. Learning about important issues is advantageous not only to the individual, but also to the whole. Is helping the environment good for business? The more efficiently we run the planet, the longer it will be around, and that's good business.